Oh,
This is the intro music.
Okay.
Well, we're on Facebook Live.
Oh,
we're not
got
on
it.
the radio yet.
Okay.
It's the intro music playing.
Okay.
Always do.
Did you pick
Yeah.
this?
I did. I like country music. Montgomery Gentry.
You don't hear that often.
I know, huh? Well, if you listen to country music, you do. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 show. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina, with Windermere Real Estate. It's the middle of August, and it is beautiful outside. I have to admit, you know, it's been a little bit of a rainier summer than we've had the last 2 summers, but look at how clear the air is right now. Right? Last 2 August, you couldn't even see or breathe anything.
Why can't we
have
take the
all
show
these
outdoors
fires.
one day?
What?
Can we take
should.
the show out and see what happened?
Oh, an outdoor show.
Come on, Jen, make it happen. Come on, Jen,
All
make
right,
it
we're
happen.
working on that. Today we're inside the studio, but we have beautiful windows and we can see the blue sky.
That's right.
I know, it's gorgeous outside. So we always start the show with a real estate update. I have to admit, I was on vacation last week, so I don't have any stats for you this week, but we started a kitchen remodel yesterday. So right now it's fun. We're loving having no countertops. It's a novelty. I'm making smoothies in the laundry room. It's awesome. We'll see. I'll check in 3 weeks. I'll let you know how it's going. But what it did remind me of is really the value that your agent can bring to you when it comes to just their resources, right? A lot of people assume like, oh, my agent, you just use them when you go to buy and sell. But I know for myself and a lot of agents, we have phenomenal contractors, resources, all types of different things that, I am referring my contractor and my painter and my plumber and my electrician to clients all the time. Often when it's not real estate related, they do not have to be buying or selling a house. People just call me and ask who my people are because they're amazing and I love them and I'm always happy to refer them out to other people. So that is something else to think about, the value of a good real estate agent. Also, if you're thinking about doing updates to your house, the general rule of thumb is if you're going to live in your house for at least another 5 years, do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. But if you think there might be a chance that you could be selling in 5 years or less, sometimes it's worth bringing a real estate agent in to walk through some of the things that you're looking at spending money on. At the end of the day, you should be happy with it because it's your home and you should make it the way you want to be. But some things yield more results than others in terms of purchase price and return on investment. So don't be afraid to bring an agent in during a time like that to just, bounce some ideas off of them of what might be a good investment and good updates to do down the road. So there you go, your real estate update for today. If you have questions or if you need a referral for an amazing contractor, because I have some fantastic ones, you can always find me via email, nicole@nicolemangina.com. There you go. And without further ado, I'm excited to introduce our guest today, Peggy Bennett. Thank you for being here today, Peggy.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You are a love clarity coach.
Yes.
Which, that's pretty cool. We've got lots of good stuff to talk about today. I think this applies, I know this applies to everybody. Because I know you do, and when I'll have you tell the story because you obviously are better at it than I am, but you do a lot with people, with relationships, matchmaking, but also that personal part of it as well. And I think if somebody's in a relationship or not, there's always a lot of what your information is and what you help people with is super helpful. And just really interacting with yourself and other people.
Yes.
So tell us all about it. Kind of what do you do as a love clarity coach? And I'm always curious how do you get into this? What was your path to becoming this?
Well, I had a successful career at Nordstrom for 20 years, but during it, I ran into a lot of singles, men and women, kind of complaining about them being single and it feeling like a part-time job.
Sure.
Finding someone,
Yeah.
right? Because they were online dating, and it felt like literally a part-time job doing it. And so I thought, I'm gonna just go out and take a risk and open up my company, which is Straight to the Heart. So I did that, and now it's been about 4.5 years, and really loving that. But it's evolved into kind of the one-stop shopping for singles, because I'm finding singles who are attracted to me are ones that are completely burnout online or don't want to go online, and they just because of for privacy purposes. And they just have kind of almost given up hope, which is sad in sorts,
sad.
right?
Right.
So they come to me just because they don't know what to do. Or if it's someone who needs help, maybe online, getting an online dating profile update. It could be just so many things. So I love to think that I'm kind of the love connector. Just how you said that there's so many resources that you can use.
Right.
I have that list of resources too. So whoever contacts me, I can help them with that. So I just have evolved into that.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I see, it actually seems like a really natural progression from, you're helping people put together their own style. It's, how are they going to present themselves to the world and embody themselves, to, okay, let's take it one step further, and okay, how do you do this in a relationship setting, and
Exactly.
all of that.
Exactly. And I still do the styling. That is something I still have a love for, that creativeness.
I would
is-
imagine they go hand in hand.
Yes, yes.
You kind of almost can't have one without the other.
Because some people either seem to have work clothes or workout clothes, but not dating clothes.
Yes. And maybe age-appropriate dating clothes, because I'm assuming they look different at various generations.
Or do they still fit?
Right. Dating clothes in your 20s is a little different than your 30s and your 40s and so on.
So for men and women, I can be that resource too. And I'm independent, which means I can go to any store with
great.
them. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's so much fun. I literally get their sizes, and for instance, I can be at Nordstrom with them. I get their sizes and have them go to the bar right there. They have a little cocktail while I set up the fitting room. And then when they're done with their cocktail, they come down and have a fitting room full of outfits for them.
Well, there you go.
I mean, how can you go wrong?
I think, right? That alone, I think you could build a full practice. Cocktails and styling. That's great. That's right. And there is something really fun and magical about, and I know you do a lot more than just the styling, but there's something really fun and magical about when people finally feel comfortable in their skin with what they've got on, and
Yes.
it does change a lot. So I think that's fantastic.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about, because you work with people in a couple of different ways, right? You do the full matchmaking. You've got a really fabulous coaching program that you have for people. What are some of the different ways that you work with people?
It seems like because it's been more efficient that I'm actually, my business is more getting towards the coaching than the
Okay.
matchmaking, just because it's getting more efficient. I'm getting more results, believe it or not,
great.
with the coaching, because people are not sitting on the sidelines where in matchmaking they are, especially the women, because it's kind of hard to explain if you're not familiar with matchmaking, but in traditional matchmaking, women pay a small fee because they may or may not get chosen to go on a date.
Oh, okay.
The plus side is if they get chosen, great, but a lot of times they don't. So they sit on the sideline, and I was getting really frustrated with that because, they are not hearing from me, right?
Right.
So that's where I got into the coaching part and teaming up with them, and I have a 3-month program where
Got it.
I take them and really get them empowered so that they can be really clear on
Nice.
what they want.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
do it that way.
yeah.
Great. What are some of the things that you work with them on? to go through that
Actually, one thing is, it's kind of like being a realtor as far as your clients, for them to get really clear on what they want, right?
process? Yes.
That's probably
I-
relatable, isn't it?
It is, and it's always so funny because so many conversations start there, and yet it is amazing and fascinating how difficult that question can be
Yes.
to answer.
Yes.
No judgment one way or the other. We all have things that, I had to pick some door pulls this morning for my cabinet. I was like, wow, that's a little harder for me to, I don't know what I want. I'll have to get back to you. And it goes all the way up the scale to relationships and everything else. So.
Exactly, and that's why I always will say to the person, dating is really healthy that way, because it determines, you decide what is important to you. Does that make sense?
I love, that is such a huge mindset shift.
Yes.
And I think that's really something that we should reiterate, because what you just said was you're empowering people to go into something knowing what they want out of it.
Right.
Versus, I just hope I get picked and somebody thinks I'm worthy.
Right.
Which I think is how a lot of people go into it, right?
Yes.
We have all gone into it that way at some point in
Yes.
our lives. But to come at it from, I am worthy, and I'm taking a proactive role of this is what's important to me. I think that's huge.
Right. These are my values, and this is what I'm looking for, and so I call it kind of your wish list. But then at the end, it's this or something better.
Right.
Because the universe, without getting too woo-woo for the audience.
Oh, I'm totally woo-woo. You can go there. I'm all about the woo-woo.
The universe, you never know. It can go beyond your wildest dreams. So don't limit yourself. So always at the end of your wish list, when you write it down, and this can relate to real estate also.
For sure.
This or something more. This or something better. Have you heard that before?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I do. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Same page.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I'm a big believer in that. Setting intention is. It's amazing how much of our whole life we live reactive, and just you got to deal with whatever comes, So being proactive by setting an intention, or just asking for what you want, and also then being open to, I want this or something better, because a lot of times the universe will surprise you in wonderful ways if you let it.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic.
Yes, and you said also a key word is being open, because you just never know. It may happen a different way, but again, like you said, in a beautiful way, but just in a different way than what you exactly imagined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that you do that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, and it's a 3-month coaching program you said that you go through with people?
It is. Yeah. The first week I give them a journal, a gratitude journal, because I'm a believer in that. I feel like it's like
life-changing.
Building a house. Well, isn't that another
There you
metaphor?
go.
Where that's like foundation.
It is.
So I definitely believe in doing that and starting off that with my program. And because that is so important to have that as foundation before even going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great. And so, do you take men through the same coaching program?
What's
Or
that?
Do you take the guys through the coaching program
Yes.
as well?
In fact, I've had
Okay.
50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had half the amount of men, which actually surprised me. I thought it would be mostly women, but men, and they've had great success. I have 2 stories on my podcast. I have a podcast, Real Souls with Peggy Bennett.
Oh, I love it. We'll have a link to that on our website after the show, so that people can catch your podcast. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have 2 success stories actually.
Okay.
Where they've gone through my coaching program and have had a success meeting their dream partners.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
success stories, especially when they relate to love.
I know.
I always want to see people happy.
I know. Isn't that the truth?
That's great. My experience is actually, guys are totally into all of this stuff, and they're willing to do it. I don't think they're as open about it. They don't, I would have these conversations with you at coffee or on a walk or at lunch or something like that about manifesting and getting clear on intentions. My husband's on a golf trip right now. I can pretty much guarantee you there's no intention setting other than I hope I don't have to buy beers at the end of this round. I don't think they sit around with guys at the end of the day, and maybe they do, I don't know, I'll have to ask, but I think maybe not. But I think if somebody takes them through that process, they're actually really open to it. And sometimes they're less resistant because they haven't, with women, we talk about it all the time and we get stuck in it. I think sometimes for them it's all new and they're like, oh, let's do it. That's cool.
And I'm right here to say it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, but for that man or woman who they've tried for so long to do it themselves, and it's just really difficult. If you can only imagine just being not necessarily lonely, but just so frustrated and just almost giving up on hope. So I think they're just really at that point where they're wanting some
Absolutely.
guidance.
Well, and there's so many things in life. It's that whole phrase, you can't see what's on the tip of your nose, right? It's
Yes.
like what's there. It's hard when it's your stuff. Even if it's super easy for you to figure it out for everybody else.
Right.
Your stuff is always difficult, and we always benefit from an outsider's
Exactly.
input.
I want to point out, though, it's work. It's almost like teaming up with a personal trainer. I tell you to do 10 planks. Well, you got to do those 10 planks.
Yes, the participation is required.
Yes, so you have to do the work. It's not just going to be a one-sided. So that is one thing, that it is going to be work to do the transformation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you find, I'm going to assume, though, most of the people, you're motivated to do the work because
Yes,
the
definitely.
result is worth it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just, I have people actually sign an agreement
Oh, I love it.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just because it's serious. You can't just sail through it.
For sure. What do you think is the trickiest thing for people to kind of either have a mindset shift on or do differently? What's that biggest stumbling block you see people have?
I guess the probably because it's every single morning, I suggest them to have a specific morning routine. And because it's every single morning, it's hard if they don't already have one to start that.
Right. Yes. I think
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people resist that, but it is life changing once you get it going.
But I'm their accountability partner, so that helps a lot. Because my coaching is once a week for 1 hour.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah,
And one-on-one coaching.
One-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I really agree. I really like the fact that it's one-on-one because it's very individualized.
I think so.
meet them for where they are right there at that point. So it's really so personalized, if you can only imagine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The love industry. So that way I can really tailor it to their needs.
Fantastic. Again,
Yeah.
if you're just tuning in today, we have Peggy Bennett is joining us, the Love Clarity Coach. So if you have been struggling with relationships and are just trying to figure out, maybe you need some outside input on how to do this whole dating thing, Peggy is your gal. She has some amazing things, and I love that you come at it from such a holistic aspect. We will have links to Peggy's podcast and all of the ways you can contact her on the website after the show. You can always find that at NicoleMangina.com/podcast. So what about this whole Seattle? I don't know. Do they still talk about the Seattle freeze? Does that still come out? I moved here 30 years ago, and it was a big thing. I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore, but I would love to know your...
And I'm a native here.
Okay.
I don't even think about it because I guess I'm a native, so...
Okay, I didn't know if that came up in any of your conversations. It seems like it's much more, there's people here from all over now.
Right.
All over the country, all over the world, and so...
there is a freeze in that I don't personally like to coin it a Seattle freeze, but there definitely is that challenge where you see, and I think it's not just Seattle. I don't want to pick on Seattle.
I know. We love you, Seattle. It's, by the way, it's in the 425 too. It's not a 206 thing. It's in the 425. And I think there's probably other places like that. It just, I don't know, they came up with a thing years ago about it.
Oh, totally.
I'm
exactly.
sure other areas of the country.
Exactly. And it's just, now you can translate it as, let's just be real, and people are plugged in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're tuned out, they're plugged in. When you see people walking around are we making eye contact? Are we smiling at each other? No, that's not
No.
happening. Whether
yeah.
you're at Starbucks, in line at Starbucks, walking here or there, at the grocery store, it's not happening. So that is a real thing. I don't like to focus on that.
That's
but
a digital age thing, I think.
but
That's not a
it's-
Seattle thing.
Yes,
That's just
exactly.
digital.
But because of that, that's where I am getting phone calls because I ask when people register, I ask what are obstacles, and many of them say, men and women say, it's just a hard, it's difficult to meet someone, and I'm not going to go to a bar to meet someone, and it's just difficult environment to meet someone. So yeah,
There you go. For
Yeah.
the record, I met my husband at a bar.
Oh, did you? I love it.
I
love it. I love it. How many years ago?
Like 25 years
That's
ago.
awesome.
Back before. I don't know. There
Did
might
he
have been.
approach you?
Yes, and it turned out I was out with a friend. I wasn't there to like go find a person, but I was out with a friend, and then my husband Gary was with some people that I knew as well. So I went over to talk to them, and then met Gary, and 25 years later, here we are.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
I love
know.
that
So
story.
I always tell people we met the old-fashioned way before internet dating was a thing, and I had to go out to a bar, and sometimes it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that story.
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I've never done the internet dating thing, but I hear it's quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I've been part of it myself personally, and I feel like I feel like it's great that I've been part of it because I can relate even to my customers and
Yeah.
clients. But you have to go about it having fun, or you will not have success. So if you feel kind of burnout or
Sure.
anything, do not just stop your app and take a breather. That's my one advice with that. So if you're gonna be doing it, have fun. Keep it light,
Sure.
and just know that you're just having fun meeting people.
Oh, good. Do you help people write those profiles? I would imagine. I mean, doing your bio for a resume or even like a work, like your website is hard. I can't even imagine what it's like then to take that to, up your game to a dating
I do.
deal. Do you help
And
people
I
with that?
love doing that, and including photos as well.
Oh, good.
You'd be surprised how many men are posing with their fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Men just don't have a lot of photos of themselves.
Sure.
So those.
Oh, you mean like big fish, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
fisherman? I was
Oh,
like little
no.
goldfish, or
No.
you mean like they went
Yes,
fishing,
yeah.
waders and all?
Exactly. They don't have a lot of.
I haven't showered in a week.
Photos.
I'm your guy.
So those are the photos that they can come up with.
That's awesome. That's great. Makes sense.
So yes, I do online makeover,
Okay.
profile
I would imagine
makeover.
that's a helpful thing.
It can completely turn around somebody's dating life just doing that alone.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tweaking it just a little bit is
Mhm.
amazing because fortunately or unfortunately, you're marketing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you are.
You are.
Right?
You're-
I mean,
you're-
even going to a bar, it's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a profile. Yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
you're doing is marketing yourself, and like you say, how difficult it is to have to do it yourself. It's much easier to have somebody else do it or team up with somebody else to do it.
Absolutely. And not everybody considers writing a strength. It's funny, even Jen, my assistant,
Uh-huh.
was a guest on the show 2 weeks ago, and she writes all the blog posts after the show, and she's fabulous at it. She's a great writer, but it took her a little longer do I write about myself in the first person and the third person? How do I do this? Well, she still did a great job, but we had some good laughs about it.
Yeah,
So having
exactly.
somebody help is great. 2 tips for somebody out there dating today. What are 2 things they can do to help their love life?
First, do not give up hope.
Okay.
That should be actually first and second, I tell you. Just don't give up hope. I mean, on a serious note, people just get really, it's sad and unfortunate. They wait so long and they haven't had success in so long. So they really just feel like it's just not going to be happening.
Right. It's not meant to be.
It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
So do not give up hope. There's always an opportunity out there. And take action steps. Mr. Prince Charming is going to knock at your door, so make sure that you're out there, whether it's online or networking groups, or give me a call even. I can offer you suggestions also, but just take an action step towards.
To interact with people, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. If someone asks you to go to a party and you're not in the mood, try to get in the mood to go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you just never know.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, if you need a little help with your love life, Peggy Bennett is your gal. She has all kinds of great programs for you. You can find her information and mine on the website after the show, NicoleMangina.com/podcast. Take care, everybody. I hope you're having a fabulous summer, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.